And it looks like we're live. Let me just check on Facebook. If you're just coming on, don't forget to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give Facebook permission to show your comments, because I'm streaming from StreamYard to several different platforms. So I want to make sure that you're, you know, I'm able to see your comments. So if you're watching from Facebook, do go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission to show your comments, and I'll be able to see them in the comment section here. If you're watching from YouTube, for some reason yours just automatically pops in, so that is perfectly fine. But Facebook kind of needs permission in order to show your comments. All right, and it looks like everything is good over there on Facebook. So if you're just coming in, just go ahead to streamyard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission to show your comments. That way we can, have a conversation right here in StreamYard. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about getting energized. And I do have a few notes. And this topic came about because, I never really know what I'm going to talk about when I come on these live streams. And it's usually as a result of something that occurs. And then I wake up that morning thinking, okay, that's probably what I need to talk about. Especially if, something relating to me, right? So lately I've been literally feeling drained. And I've had to kind of rethink a lot of the things that I've been doing and really spending my time on, right? And after evaluating certain things, I realized that I was putting a lot of my energy into things that I really didn't need to be. And some of the things I needed to be putting my energy into, I hadn't been. I'd kind of been ignoring certain things that in the past really brought me joy and really energized me, right? But I kind of got things a little flipped recently. So that was kind of why this topic came about today. So I really wanted to talk about, what energizes you, what gets you going in the morning, what kind of activities you do to really get you pumped. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. And I did make a few notes, so I'm going to be kind of, glancing at those from time to time. Okay, so if you do have any comments, please feel free to post them in the comment section, whether you're in YouTube or on Facebook. And if you're watching from Facebook and this is the first time, you're going to need to give StreamYard permission to show your comments by simply going to streamyard.com/Facebook. And that way I'll be able to see your comments here. So like I said, over the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of feeling like energetically drained. So I really needed to address that because, when you're drained, you can't really function properly, right? And as women, especially, we tend to give and give and give and do and do and do for other people. And then by the time we realize that we're drained, we are drained, and we are serving from what I like to call from the cup rather than serving from the overflow or serving from the saucer. And that's one of the things I teach about is as women, we need to serve from the overflow or serve from the saucer rather than serving from our cup, because our cup should always be full, right? If our cup is not full, it means that we're depleted. And you can't serve from a depleted source. Because when you do that, you do feel energetically drained. You do feel exhausted. You feel like you're constantly giving and you're not getting anything in return because you're serving from your cup rather than serving from the saucer or the overflow, like I like to say. So what energizes you? What really gets you going in the mornings or anytime throughout the day? Because for some people, I know when they get to around 1, 2 o'clock, they kind of get exhausted and they say, "Oh, I need a cup of coffee." So some people kind of need that caffeine buzz at certain time of the day, right? But it doesn't have to be caffeine. It could be an activity that you do at any given time to kind of get your energy level, a little bit higher. In Ayurveda, if you're not familiar with Ayurveda, it's like 5,000 plus year old way of living. And that's where a lot of medicine also comes from. And I've studied Ayurveda extensively, especially as it relates to nutrition. So, but in Ayurveda, they talk about this thing called Agni, 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 and it literally means fire. But they're speaking about it from a digestive point of view. But where your digestive system, your stomach, your intestines, your colon, all of that area, starting in your mouth actually, all the way down to your stomach, your intestines, that's all part of your digestive system. And if your Agni, as they refer to, if your Agni is low, basically means that your digestive system isn't really working. It means that there's no fire in your gut that's helping to digest your food properly, right? And there's so much to this aspect of Ayurveda and nutrition, and this one part alone can really help with every other aspect. And I'll explain in just a little bit of detail, because I don't want to get it too bogged down in any one thing. I do have a list of things that I'm going to suggest as far as, and these things are what really get me going, and things that different activities that I use throughout the day to kind of keep my energy up or to get it back up, right? But like I said, in Ayurveda, there's this thing called Agni, and it just has to do with the fire, and it's the fire in your gut. How much Agni do you have in your gut to get your digestive juices flowing, right? And if you really pay attention to this, there's a whole lot of sense to this one thing. I don't tend to drink anything when I am eating, right? And that's because, especially things that are cold, and that's because the coldness of that particular drink tends to put out the fire in your gut. Does that make sense? If the term Agni means fire, and you drink, and even in Ayurvedic medicine, they recommend that you do not drink while you are having a meal. You wait until about 30 minutes after you've eaten your meal before you take in any kind of fluids. Unless you're drinking something warm, then that, of course, is going to add to your Agni, or the digestive fire in your gut, right? But I don't tend to drink when I am eating, especially if it is something cold. And I tend to not like cold drinks. I like to do something like at room temperature, unless it's a smoothie, and the smoothie is going to taste really awkward when it's cold. That's different. But eating, I tend to drink something that's hot, or I just don't drink anything at all, because you want to drink something that's going to, or eat foods that are going to help the Agni, or that digestive fire in your gut. So digestion is one of the things I'm going to talk about as far as what really gets me going, and what can really help if we were to focus on nutrition, right? So another thing that really helps me going is with having a morning meditation, morning prayer, some kind of spiritual work in the morning, right? And I have a friend, both she and her fiance have a Monday morning prayer time where they pray for businesses, and anyone that can go on and join the group, and you put the name of your business in, and they pray for your businesses. So if you do have a business, that's a really good group to join. It's Karen Morgan and Julian, and it's Karen spelled Karin. So if you look up Karen Morgan, you'll see the group that does the Monday morning prayer for businesses. So Monday morning prayer and Monday morning meditation, and not just Monday mornings, but every morning, if you have some kind of a prayer or a meditation to really get you going in the morning, okay? One of the things that I like to do as well is oil pulling. And I know this isn't really not a long, meditation or anything, but it's part of my morning routine. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But oil pulling for me is a part of a morning routine that I do. It helps my oral health, but by helping my oral health, I'm also helping overall health, because oil pulling does so much for your teeth, for your gums, for the nasal passages, the sinuses, all of that stuff. And I'm thinking about doing an oil pulling challenge, talking a little bit more about oil pulling and the benefits that you can really receive from doing oil pulling, especially just for 30 days. So I'm considering doing that. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just pop a comment in the chat. If you have no idea what oil pulling is, you can let me know as well. Because oil pulling is something I think I started this about, maybe 10 years ago, when I first got serious about oil pulling. And it was when I'd been diagnosed with lupus. And oil pulling was one of those things that I did every single morning. Every morning, and that's one of the things that actually helps me. But it's become part of a routine that I do now. So I mentioned a little bit about nutrition as well. So eating well helps to energize you. Not just eating, you have to put in foods that are good for you. Okay, so eating well, proper nutrition, that is something that's going to naturally energize your body. Okay. I have a note here about smoothies. I have a smoothie sitting in front of me that I made just before I came on. And this one is made with mango, and there's chia seeds in here, some coconut yogurt, a little bit of coconut water, and I have an adaptogenic herbal blend. I put a little bit of that in there as well and blended it all up. So that's in here. So it just really natural nutrition. Again, all back to nutrition. So throughout the day, maybe you want to make yourself just a really nice smoothie. When you realize, instead of reaching for that cup of coffee, just whip up some fruits and some yogurt in your blender and drink that. That's just a natural boost of energy. The coffee gives you that that instant boost, but you want something that's going to be long lasting. The coffee tends to raise you really quickly and then you drop, right? It kind of like a sugar high as well. You don't want something that's going to raise you really fast and then drop you really fast as well. You want that gradual increase of energy and just that gradual tapering off. So nutrition is definitely one way to do that. And just a simple smoothie in the middle of the afternoon, one to get you going in the morning as well, one in the evening. You decide when you need that, right? I also, and it involves tapping, it involves, and the tapping part, sometimes I do that when I'm showering, sometimes I do it when I come out of the shower. It is entirely up to you. But if you look up a lady named Donna Eden, and she is the one that I actually learned this from. She has, she talks all about energy, and everything is energy. The food you put into your body is energy. The things you have in your surroundings, everything is energy. And if you study Tesla and Albert Einstein and quantum physics, all of this stuff, you'll begin to understand that even the things that you have in your environment can tend to drain your energy. That thing called clutter, when you have too much stuff in your surroundings, it can tend to drain you. So, but that I have a 5-minute energy routine that I do to just really get my energy flowing in the right way. So if you look up Donna Eden, or look up Donna Eden 5-minute energy routine on YouTube, there's so many videos out there. You can learn a little bit more about what I'm talking about. Qigong. I did a Qigong challenge, I think about 2 years ago. And I did that for, I believe, 7 days. And it was amazing how I felt after each particular episode of, and I think each one that I did, or each day, I think maybe lasted 10 or 15 minutes, but you were so energized afterwards. And it's how I felt when I was doing martial arts training. So Qigong is just another type of martial art, kind of like along the lines of Tai Chi as well. And I also have that written down. So if you're not into, if you don't do martial arts, so Qigong is just a way of getting your energy moving, so that you can better utilize it, right? A lot of us think that, okay, we down a cup of coffee, yes, we're energized now, but it's not just about downing a cup of coffee. It's about really knowing how to get your energy flowing in the right way, and knowing how to utilize your energy, and how to also what you need to do to replenish your energy, and being aware of when your energy is being depleted. That's the other thing. A lot of women tend to realize, like at the end, oh, I'm so exhausted, and by then, rather than noticing, okay, my energy is becoming a little depleted right now, I need something, and you take a break. A lot of women just go, 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 and by the time they realize how depleted they are, it's way past, right? So we have to become aware of when our energy is being depleted as well, and when we need to take a break and kind of energize or re-energize ourselves. Me to smart these off because I've got so many notes here. All right, I mentioned about the tapping. The tapping is another word for emotional freedom technique, and there's a lot of information out there. So that's also part of my 5-minute energy routine that I do in the mornings. Emotional freedom technique, and it can be used for anxiety, it can be used for depression, it can be used if you're trying to if you're on a diet and you're kind of having some struggles with staying on this diet. It helps with that. It helps with so many different things. So just, you can do a lot there are a lot of videos as well on YouTube relating to emotional freedom technique or tapping. All right, this one that I'm going to mention is so simple that you're probably already doing it and didn't even really think about it. I'm going to show you 2 glasses that I have up here, and I tend to keep these close to me. When you drink, I notice a lot of people when they're drinking water, they tend to drink it from just straight from the plastic bottle that it comes in, or from a mason jar, whatever, whatever the case is. But for me, just the simple act of taking that water and pouring it into a really beautiful glass, it changes the energy altogether. When you take a bottle of water, imagine for a moment, this is one of the glasses that I keep on my desk. Green is also my favorite color. So this is a green, and it's just a simple wine glass. And this is another one. I call this my golden chalice. But this is another one that I keep up here. And this is actually what I'm going to be drinking my smoothie out of. So I have my mango smoothie, and I will be pouring it into this glass to drink it from here. But just the simple act of taking water and pouring it into a wine glass, it just up levels that water, don't you think? Rather than drinking it from your bottle. So try that one time. Instead of drinking it straight from the plastic bottle, or even from your, I know you have these water bottles, these nice stainless steel water bottles or whatever. Instead of doing it that way, just grab yourself a nice looking glass, wine glass, champagne glass, whatever the case is, and just pour your water into that. And just feel the difference it makes. It really does, right? So those are the 2 glasses that I keep on my desk. And I drink water from them. I drink my smoothies from them. Juice, I do a lot of juicing, so I also drink the juice from that. Or I have some really nice glass bottles that I drink the juice from as well. But just a simple act of changing how you drink your water and what you drink your water out of. Simple act, like just a simple thing like that. All right, so another thing is having a gratitude practice, and I've talked about this in previous episodes. Just the simple act of saying thank you. When you wake up in the morning, I have a gratitude journal, and I write down 3 to 5 things. Sometimes it's a lot more. Sometimes it's 10 to 15 things just keeps flowing out of me. Things that you're grateful for. Just write it down, and then at the end of the day, or as you go throughout the day and something pops into your mind or something happens and you find, you have to write that down, you grab your gratitude journal and just write in, I'm grateful for whatever, whatever, right? But just having a gratitude practice that raises your energy every single day, every single moment. Just you look outside and it starts to rain. Thank you, God, for the rain. Just whispering that, just that simple act of gratitude raises your energy, right? And these are the things I'm trying to express to you. And I forgot to mention, this is Making Mondays Matter, another episode of Making Mondays Matter. So if you're joining me now, this is Gina, and I'm here with the Making Mondays Matter episode. And today we're talking all about what energizes you. We're also going to talk about a little bit about what depletes you, but the focus should be on what brings you energy, what gets you pumped, okay? So the gratitude practice, if you have not yet started a gratitude practice, this is the beginning of the month, so a great time to start that. And it's really easy to do. Just grab yourself a little book, a little notepad, then you can just simply write gratitude journal on there and have a pen available so that before you go to bed at night, you can just simply write down 5 things that you're grateful for that happened throughout the day. Or you can wait until the morning and you can start off your morning that way. It is entirely up to you how you want to do that. One of the things that I like to do in the morning as well and throughout the day is drinking my herbal coffee. And there isn't any coffee as such in there. I call it herbal coffee because there are certain herbs in there that tend to give me energy. There are also some that are adaptogenic, means that they work with my body to kind of balance out the hormonal levels within me to make sure everything is working the way that they're supposed to. And this is one of the things I noticed because I wasn't drinking this herbal coffee as much as I used to. I noticed things were kind of off, right? And you have to really pay attention to your body to get to know your body. And I think a lot of women don't really pay that close of an attention to their bodies. When you really get to understand and to know your body and to listen to your body, when your body feels kind of off, you know what's missing. And for me, that was the herbal coffee. And I actually have some sitting here that I made. Let me show that. I don't want to spill it, but it's one of the things, or 2 of the ingredients in here are ashwagandha and maca root. And maca root is great for energy, for giving you energy. And ashwagandha and astragalus, which is also in here, are 2 adaptogenic herbs that are good for anxiety. They're good for depression. So it basically kind of balances out the hormones. It's really good for the thyroid. So if you have any kind of, let me take a sip. If you have any kind of thyroid conditions, having ashwagandha or astragalus, licorice root, those tend to kind of balance out the hormonal levels within the thyroid. Don't stop taking any of your pharmaceuticals, and make sure you consult with your doctor if you are taking, things like levothyroxine, that sort of thing for your thyroid. But for me, this particular herbal, I call it my herbal coffee, provides all of those kind of hormones for me, and it balances out everything that's missing that my body would normally produce. Because if I can get real, transparent, I had a hysterectomy several years ago, so of course the ovaries aren't there, the uterus isn't there, none of that plumbing is there. So what my ovaries would normally make as far as hormones are concerned wouldn't be made, right? But so I get them from taking a lot of the herbal supplements, and so that my body remains in homeostasis as much as possible. And one of the ways I do that is with my herbal coffee. So I'm not kind of flip-flopping back and forth as far as hormonal levels and the energy and stuff is concerned. Exercise is another way of really energizing your body. And I know that for those of you, if you have a jogging regimen, or you go to the gym, you know how you feel after that workout, right? So that really gets your blood flowing and gets you, your heart rate gets elevated for a little while. The blood is just pumping through your body. So that's one of the things that you can do to kind of raise your energy level as well as exercise. And it doesn't have to be going for a jog. It doesn't have to be, sprinting, whatever. It could just be doing some qigong, like I mentioned, or some tai chi, or you go on, find a video on YouTube and there's a Zumba recording that you can watch, or maybe some yoga, whatever you're attracted to, whatever resonates with you, do that. Not everybody is a runner. I was a runner from time I was in middle school all the way through college. I was on the cross country team, and I even ran cross country long after that as well. So that kind of exercise is what appeals to me. But now I also do a lot of less strenuous exercise, like the qigong and the tai chi, and I was into martial arts as well. Another thing that could really energize you is waking up early. And I know that sounds kind of paradoxical. It's like, waking up early? No, I need my few extra hours of sleep. But waking up early and watching the sunrise, right? It's there's a certain term, and I don't remember the term right now, but when you get that early morning sun feeding your eyes, it just does something to your body. So I'm up every morning before the sun comes up so that I'm able to watch the sunrise. And another thing, since we're on, with the elements, is going outside and standing on the ground, bare feet, for about 30 to 45 minutes, or however long you want to, but usually between 20 to 30 minutes is beneficial, just to realign your energy to the energy of the earth. A lot of people, we wear all of these shoes that kind of block our energetic flow, if I can use that term, when really we should be walking barefoot a lot more. So whenever you can, go outside, stand on the ground, bare feet for about 20 to 30 minutes or longer. And that will also help to energize you and kind of realign your energetic pathways, so to speak. Another thing that you can do is what we call forest bathing. That's a term that they use in Japan, but it's just going for a walk in nature. Go and find some wooded area, find a park where there's lots of trees, and just walk through. Do it barefoot if you can. If not, then just have your shoes on. But just being out in nature really energizes you. It really can. So let me mark that off. Waking up early, watching the sunrise, and just getting those early morning rays. Nature walks, mentioned that as well. Reading good books. Rather than sitting vegging out, and nothing against vegging out in front of Netflix, because I do it periodically. I have a comment here. Let me see. Deanna says, yes, I love looking at the sunrise. It really sets the tone for the day. It truly does, Deanna. It truly does. Or is it Dina? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. So yes, getting those early morning rays can really set the tone for your day. Reading good books. Now, like I mentioned, there's nothing against vegging out in front of Netflix. We all need that from time to time. I have my moments when I have to throw something on and, just kind of forget about everything else, right? There's that, and then there's also reading a good book. So I'd love to know if you're currently reading a book and you recommend this book, pop it in the chat. The one that I'm reading right now is The 4 Agreements. And it's actually a, kind of, I don't want to say required reading. I don't like to use the term required, but it's it's the book that was suggested in a group that I'm in. And The 4 Agreements is a wonderful book. So from time to time, I'm going to recommend different books that I think you should be reading. The other book that I read is the Bible. And that is, like I said, considered required reading, but I don't like to call it that. My pastor gives out a certain reading assignment each month to get us to read throughout the Bible in an entire year. I've read the Bible, I think maybe 4 or 5 times throughout my lifetime. And each time that I read it, I learn something new. Now, I'm not telling everybody to go, because I understand that there are different faiths on here. So, but for me, the Bible is one of them. And then this other one, I highly recommend it. It's called The Four Agreements, right? So reading good books, get away from the news, get away from the TV and from Netflix and whatever other things that kind of grab your media that grabs your attention, and grab a good book and energize yourself that way. Right. So that's another way. Spiritual work, and I mentioned about reading the Bible. If you have a spiritual practice, it can be so energizing. A lot of us, we go to church on Sunday. Some of us go to church on Saturday. Then we go to church on Wednesday, which is typically like the midweek thing. And some of us may have Bible studies. But I'm talking about something that you do every single day. We have to do some kind of spiritual work every single day. Don't rely on just going and listening to the pastor on a Sunday, or, have something that you do every single day. Have a spiritual practice. It is so important. It is so critical that we have our spiritual practice. I don't want to get into too much detail, but if you do want me to go over these in more detail in another episode, please say that, and I will certainly do that. Another thing that can energize us is creative work. I know for me personally, if I am not able to do something creative, it feels like I'm losing my mind, because we are all creative beings. But we get to a certain age and life takes over, and all of a sudden we forget, even the act of cooking a meal, that is creative work. But I think a lot of us, we are so rushed, right? We go to work and we come home, we have a little bit of time, we got to get dinner going, you got to help the kids with their homework, and we just simply kind of throw something together as far as dinner is concerned. And for me, that is like a sacred thing, a sacred event. The act of eating is a sacred event, right? But I think we've gotten so far away from that, it just becomes an act, right? We just want to throw some dinner together, we've got to get the kids fed because we got to get their homework done, whatever the case is. But when we get back to that act of creating a meal as a sacred event, the whole tone changes. The whole tone of cooking changes, because it's a creative act, And so for those of you who love to cook, whether you're a guy or a girl or a child, whatever the case is, the next time you're cooking, put everything aside, put away your phone, turn off the TV, and simply focus on cooking. Whenever you're cooking, you're cutting up that carrot, focus on the act of cutting up that carrot. Focus on giving gratitude to that carrot for, literally like giving itself to your nutrition. You can express gratitude in so many different ways whenever you're cooking, right? But have it as a sacred event. I watch a lot of people cook, and a lot of the times they're angry, or they're on the phone and they're carrying on conversations. And to me, it's just not, because you have to remember, and this might sound strange, and that's fine. It's just, this is my opinion. When you're cooking and you're creating these meals, and there's all kinds of energy going through your mind, like you're watching a show, or you're angry about something, and all these thoughts, that energy is flowing into your food. Okay. Hi, Francesca. When you're cooking, and all of those, especially if you have like negative thoughts going through, that energy is flowing into your food, and you don't want that. You don't want that to happen, right? I'll tell a story. I went to a restaurant one time, and I've done this with several people, where I would ask the waiter, said, how is the chef feeling today? Right? Because if you're going into a restaurant to eat, you want to make sure that the person who's cooking your food is happy. So try this the next time you go to a restaurant. Just ask the waiter, how is the chef feeling today? Go back and ask the waiter. And I had this happen one time where I asked the chef. The chef actually came out to me and said, I really appreciate you asking me how I was feeling because I was having a really rough day. And just by asking made sure that you cared. And you know what? That chef perked right up because the mere fact that somebody thought about him and how he was feeling, his energy changed completely. And now he's cooking with a whole different mindset. Because remember, when you're cooking, your energy is flowing into that food, right? And your food does taste better when it's created from a place of love rather than from a place of stress and anxiety and all of this stuff, right? So just think about that the next time that you're cooking. Put everything aside and just make cooking a sacred event. And it's the same thing when it comes to eating. Sit down as a family, decorate your table, put your plates down, your knives, forks, set the table like you've been taught in the past. And put a bouquet on there. Put some wine glasses for the water instead of, just a simple glass, and just really dress it up. Have everyone leave their phones far away from the table, turn off the news, turn off the TV, whatever. Play some nice uplifting music and see how much different that meal is going to taste. And start talking to each other, right? But see how much different that meal is going to taste after. Guarantee you it will be a lot different. All right, so let me mark off some things. Spending time, okay, creative work. And talked about the meals. Spending time with friends that energize you. I'm sure you can name off a few people who, when you spend time with them and you leave, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh, I feel so drained. Because, there are people who are energy vampires, where they literally like suck your energy, right? But you want to spend time with people who re-energize you, and you can re-energize them as well. So whether this is in a Bible study or whether you go up, you have yourself a little private party and, you have your glass of wine, whatever the case is, find people who feed your energy in a positive way and spend time with those people, right? And spend less time with the ones you consider to be energetic vampires, right? So just spend time with people who energize you. Another thing I like to suggest, when years ago when I was first diagnosed with lupus, one of the last things I wanted to do was to get up out of bed in the morning because I was always in so much pain and I didn't want to get up, and I had to find ways to pull in that little bit of energy that I needed, right? And I know there are a lot of people in the lupus community who are connected with me in that way, because I did start a lupus page or a lupus awareness page for healing from lupus naturally, or healing from autoimmunity naturally. So I would share a lot of these things. And one of the things I suggested was getting up in the morning, and even if you don't want to get up out of bed, have a lipstick beside you, your favorite lipstick. Put some color on your lips, right? Choose an outfit, a simple outfit. Don't walk around all day in your pajamas. Or even if you have to stay in bed, get up, get out of your pajamas, put on a cutesy shirt, a little, comfortable pair of pants, but don't spend all day in your pajamas. Just the act of taking off your bedclothes and putting on a cute outfit, or putting on that little bit of lipstick, it elevates your energy, even if it's just for a little bit, but it's going to energize you. Also, if combing your hair, if you find that you're losing your hair, which happened to a lot of lupus patients and a lot of people with autoimmune conditions, we find that they tend to get thinner hair, or they end up with bald spots or whatever. Listen, been there, done that. I totally understand how it feels. I managed to regrow my hair, and then about 3 years ago, I shaved everything all off and went bald for 3 years, and I'm just beginning to regrow my hair at the request of my daughter, of course, because if it was up to me, I would have just shaved everything off. But the thing is, if you are feeling subconscious about your hair, Go grab yourself a cutesy wig. I have a friend, every time I see her, she has got on another cute wig, and they all look super amazing on her. Super amazing. There is nothing wrong with you donning a wig from time to time. If it's going to help you to lift your energy, to lift your mood, go and invest 20, 30 bucks in a wig or order it online, whatever the case is, and put your wig on. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. You know, years ago, I used to have this attitude about wigs because I figured, you know, I got my real hair. I can, you know, show my hair. And I remember one day my daughter came home, and my daughter has tons of hair, but she brought home this wig. And I looked at it and said, oh my gosh, that is so nice. It's so cute. She put it on, and it looked so amazing on her. Even her own hair looks amazing on her, but it's amazing what a wig can change. I mean, it just elevates your energy. And especially if you're having, you know, alopecia issues, or you're losing your hair from an autoimmune condition, whatever the case might be, just that act of donning that wig, go and get your wig. I'm telling you, it's if that's what it's going to take to help to boost your energy, to help to get you energized and moving, get your wig, get your favorite lipstick. I have a chapstick right here. Actually, it's a lip gloss. And this is my favorite one that I put on pretty much every day. And I actually have it on right now. So go and get your, you know, get your favorite lipstick, your favorite lip gloss, your wig, whatever the case might be. But just do those little things for you that are going to raise your energy, right? Oh, another thing I wrote down is wear a power necklace. Everybody has that one necklace. I happen to have a few. Today I'm wearing this one. This is peridot, and I believe this is sunstone, or it's or peach aventurine. I'm not sure what the peach part is, but the green part is peridot. And I looked at it and I absolutely loved it. So I got it and I put it on today. So if you have that power necklace, or just a necklace that you absolutely love, grab your necklace, throw it on. Just that act of wearing something beautiful around your neck, you know, that feels really good. All right. Another thing that I do on a daily basis is anointing myself with oil. That's talked about in the Bible. There are lots of places that do this. Get yourself, if you have a favorite perfume, get up in the mornings and anoint yourself with your perfume. And I actually learned this from a teacher, Dr. Athena Parakis, where we take the perfume and you put it on your third eye, you put it on your wrist, and you put it on your feet. And while you're doing that, you say your third eye for what you know, your hands or your wrists for what you do, and your feet for where you go. And it just kind of, you know, helps to realign your energy. But you also smell good. Okay. So get your favorite perfume, and you know, if you want, you can put a little bit behind your ears, you can put a little bit here at your neck, whatever it is that's going to make you feel good. But that's what I do every single morning. If you don't have a favorite perfume, or if you don't have oils, essential oils work really well as well. But if you don't have any of that stuff, if you do go to church, or if you have a priest that makes the oils, you can request a small vial from your priest or from your pastor, and then just ask them to bless it. Or you can make a blend and you can take and ask them to bless it, and you can anoint yourself with your oil every single day. I personally I have a lot of different oil blends. I make a lot of different essential oil blends throughout the year. But I have one that came directly from the Bible. And when COVID hit last year, something just popped into my head to go and research the Bible and find this particular blend. And I made it, and it was one of the things that I would use as an antiseptic. And I use it as a perfume. I use it all the time throughout the entire pandemic. And I still even have just a little bit of it left. So I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I need to go and get it remade, or get the ingredients to have it, you know, to remake it. But you can look up, if you're of that faith, just look up in the Bible for an oil blend, an anointing oil blend, and it's there. One of the ingredients is cinnamon, and there's olive oil. And even if you just have olive oil, just the act of anointing yourself with olive oil, and maybe you have a favorite affirmation that you say in the mornings, just that simple act will help to raise your energy. Right? Let me mark this off. I have so much. I sat down and made a list before I came on, and I didn't realize just how much I actually do throughout the day to kind of help to, raise my energy, boost my energy. And I could probably go on and on and on. But I mentioned earlier, as women, we tend to deplete our energy and not realizing that we're getting depleted until we are so run down. And then we get cranky and agitated and frustrated. But it shouldn't get to that point. We have to be aware of when our energy is being depleted so that we can always rebuild it. Because like I said, you always want to operate from a full overflowing cup. You should be serving from your saucer, not serving from your cup. Your cup should always be full. And one of the things I always talk about is self-care. And self-care, part of self-care is not allowing your cup to be depleted. So do whatever it takes to keep your cup full and only serve from the overflow. Right? If you're serving from your cup, that means you're depleting your energy on a regular basis. So be aware of yourself and know when you're being depleted. And that's like a whole other discussion there with serving from the saucer. I actually have that written. It's a lesson that I wrote from the Proverbs 31 about women serving from the saucer. Give me a moment. I've been talking and talking. So the idea is you cannot take care of other people if you allow yourself to get depleted, because when you're run down and you're trying to take care of other people, it just doesn't work. You get run down even more. So make sure your energy is built up. Serve from the saucer, not from your cup. And all of this applies as well to your dreams, your goals, your relationships, the community. You can't serve or you can't address any of these things if you are constantly being depleted. So always be aware and do what is necessary, whatever works for you to raise your energy level, to re-energize yourself. And you can get some ideas from, if you're just joining, I've mentioned quite a few ideas in this video, so you can go back and just watch the replay. But so what I'd like for you to do is to make sure that you're constantly refueling each and every day. When you go to bed at night, I have this little thing that I do where I call my energy back. And that is, it could be literally, speaking my energy back to me, or drinking something that's going to re-energize me. It's doing a little bit of spiritual work at night that's going to re-energize me, reading my Bible, reading a particular book, whatever the case is, that's going to help to re-energize me. Another thing is taking a salt bath. Taking a salt bath with Epsom salts or the pink Himalayan salt. It's not just the act of purification. It's also you're bringing in that magnesium that your body so desperately needs. And a lot of people aren't aware of when their body is depleted of magnesium. So just a simple act of taking a salt bath. And like I said, I could go into so many different things right now. So what I'd like for you to do now is, like I've done in the previous episodes, is I'm going to give you different levels of an activity to kind of help you to raise your energy, right? So on the low tier, what I want you to do is, like I've just done, is to create a list of activities that increase your energy. And also on the other side, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a sheet of paper, and let me grab a pen. You're going to have a sheet of paper like this, right? You're going to draw a line down the middle. Just draw a line across, okay? Something like that. And on one side, you're going to put things that give me energy. And on the other side, things that deplete my energy, or whatever word you want to use, right? And you're going to list all of your activities that give you energy and the activities that tend to deplete your energy. And what I want you to do is simply spend more time doing the things that actually give you energy, right? Commit to doing more of the things that actually give you energy. And I want you to reduce the time that you put into the things that deplete your energy. And if you cannot avoid doing the things that deplete your energy, make sure that you're doing something from the other side to help to raise your energy back up, whether it's at the end of the day or in the morning, or whatever the case might be. Angel says, I absolutely agree with restoring and replenishing energy at the end of the day on a daily basis. Exactly. This is especially important for empaths. Yes, it is. And if you're an empath like I am, you understand exactly how important that is. Yes. So some of us, and if you're not familiar with the term empath, let me see if I can put this in as simple as possible. An empath basically feels too much. And empaths tend to absorb the energy of whatever is around, whether that be good vibrations from your friends who are there to energize you, or it could be, you ever gone around a certain person and you said that their vibe just is off, but empaths tend to absorb that as well, right? We tend to feel, and we feel deeply. One of the things for me is I feel the energy from Wi-Fi signals, EMFs, microwaves, all of that stuff. I feel that stuff. I mean, I have to take measures in order to protect myself from that. Deanna again says, I love that. I will definitely create that table and monitor my energy, as well as try to increase it daily. Yes. Increasing it daily and, monitor it. A lot of us don't really monitor well enough. So we really have to do that. So especially if you're an empath, and an empath, like I said, we just feel things so deeply and we absorb. So at the end of the day, we have to know what do we need to get rid of. And that's one of the reasons why I do a lot of salt baths, is it helps me to replenish the magnesium, which is good for, I don't know how many, like 200, 300, 400 different activities within your body. It's that important. So if you've never taken an Epsom salt bath, now's the time to start. And start with kids. Even my youngest son, he does that as well. So take the time, even if you have to throw some bubble bath liquid in with your, I know, the thing is, I know a lot of women who said, I don't have time to take a bath. That is exactly why you need to take a bath. Close the doors to the rest of the world, run that water in your bathtub, and just get in and release everything else that's going on around you. If you say that I don't have time for, that is exactly why you need to be making time to do this type of, energy work and raising your energy and just taking time for you and taking care of yourself. Because as women, we always say, I don't have time to get my nails done. I don't have time to be doing my hair. I don't have time. When in fact, we all have the same amount of time every single day, but we don't realize how much we really need to be taking care of ourselves until the moment comes when we are probably sick with something, or we are so exhausted, we fall asleep for 6-8 hours, which is supposed to be a nap, right? So really spend the time and become aware of where you're putting your energy. And if it's really important to put your energy in that place, if so, make sure you're taking time to replenish your energy. All right. So that was the low tier. I kind of digressed there for a little bit. The medium tier is spend time with people who naturally energize you, and find simple ways to do things together to help to grow each other's energy. So if you know that there's certain people who you just love to be around, come up with some idea of where you can get everybody together and just do a simple fun activity where you can kind of just feed off of each other's energy, right? Um, this is not the time to be pulling in that one friend that you think might need a little bit of work. No, this is for your friends who you know help to replenish you, right? And help to build your energy up. So spend time with those people who just naturally energize you. It could be in a group. I'm in quite a few groups on Facebook, and there are a few groups where I go in and I spend 5-10 minutes on a daily basis, and I leave there just pumped, just ready to get going with what I need to do. And I'm not saying that there aren't those little occasional energy vampires in there, but for the most part, these groups that's really helped to build my energy up. So it could be a group on Facebook. It could be taking a class, and that class might meet once a week, and you know that every time that class gets together, it is just so exciting and it's so energetic, right? It could be doing a weekly Bible class. A lot of people have these Bible studies. If that is something that appeals to you, then join a Bible class once a week or however often that it meets. But find that group of people that's really going to lift and boost and raise your energy. Okay, so that is the medium tier. Now your high level is what I want you to do. I want you to create a get energized morning routine. I mentioned several things that I do as part of my morning routine, like my morning meditation and prayer, the oil pulling, my 5-minute energy routine, all of those things. So I am challenging you to create your get energized morning routine. If you already have one, I would love to know what you do. You can simply post it in the comment section wherever you're watching from, Facebook, YouTube. But come up with 3 things, 1 to 3 things to really start your day. And I want you to do those things every single day for at least the next 7 days and longer. The thing is, with your morning routine, you can change it up. It doesn't have to be the same thing every single day, right? Or you don't have to do the same 3 things in the same order every single day. Change up your morning routine however you wish, but come up with a routine that's going to energize you and really pump you up and get you going. It needs to be something that you're going to spring out of bed in the morning to do, right? It's not, your day should really start that way. So many people, they wake up in the morning and it's just like such a chore to get them to wake up, and it's like they're dragging their feet and I got to go to work again. It's like, oh, whoa. This needs to be, you should be jumping out of bed every single morning, springing up. Your goals, your visions, your dreams need to be causing you to jump out of bed in the morning, right? Your goals and dreams should be that energizing that you spring out of bed every single morning. So create whatever it is that you're going to put into your get energized morning routine. Do it for at least the next 7 days and longer. Just know that you don't have to do the same order every single day, and you can add in other things. And maybe you find that there's something that you really want to try, so you remove something else and then you add this particular thing in. But have a routine, and you're going to see just how much of a difference that makes. As part of the routine, I would encourage you, try to get up before the sun comes up and watch the sunrise. Make that part of your daily routine. It is so energizing. When you see that hint of light come above the horizon, it's just, it is literally a miracle that happens every morning, right? So anyway, so those are your 3. Your low tier, again, create your list of activities that energize you, and your list of activities that deplete your energy, and start to focus more on the ones that give you energy, okay? Your medium is spending time with people who just naturally energize you, and come up with an activity that you all can do together. And then, of course, your high tier is to create a get energized morning routine and do it for at least 7 days, and hopefully you'll continue it longer as well. So that is our Making Mondays Matter episode of Get Energized. I hope that if you're just joining, please go back and watch the replay. There is so much that I mentioned at the beginning that I honestly didn't think I could come up with this long of a list, but a lot of these are things that I do on a daily basis and don't even think about. Another thing that just popped into my head is music. Find your favorite music and incorporate that, whether it's like jazz. One of the things I like to listen to, especially when I'm cleaning, and my kids will tell you that, is soca music. Vacuuming is no fun unless you're playing some soca music, okay? So if you want to kind of amp up your cleaning routine, just throw on some really energetic music, and it makes the cleaning so much more fun, and you get done a lot faster. So that's your bonus right there, is music. Okay, so if you have any questions, I so appreciate all of you popping on there. I noticed at one point, but my tongue tends to get tied whenever I'm just so excited. But there were a lot of you that were on watching, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to pop them in the chat, or send them to me in a direct message, or send me something on Facebook, post it in the comments under the video on Facebook, whatever the case is, and I respond. But I'd love to be able to read what a little bit of what your morning routines are once you come up with them. You can always come back to this and rewatch this video over and over and get some other ideas. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending spending this hour with me. I think this is the longest Making Mondays Matter episode that we've done so far, but there was just so much. One Angel says, wonderful session, joined late, but I will definitely listen to the replay. Thank you, Angel. These are all lifestyle modifications within our control. Absolutely lifestyle modifications within our control to reduce the risk of burnout and chronic disease. And that is so true, because a lot of us don't realize that stress, anxiety, depression, all of these things do result from being burnt out and frustrated. And when we just put off taking care of ourselves, then 5 years later, we suddenly get an illness. But it's not sudden. It's been building up and building up and building up because we're not taking care of ourselves. So yes, I love how you said that, Angel. Lifestyle modifications within our control. They certainly are within our control. So feel free to go back and watch the replay as many times as you feel like. And again, I do appreciate you being here with me, and I appreciate all of the comments that have been popping in. And I love that kind of an interaction. I love to be able to read your comments and to share what you've said as well. So thank you so much, and I will see you all again real soon. I'm working on a few things for the week. I know I haven't really been consistent with the Wisdom Wednesday, and yesterday I got kind of a nudge about a topic that I really should talk about on Wednesday. So I will hopefully be back this coming Wednesday, but if not, I will see you again next Monday, God's willing, for another episode of Making Mondays Matter. Love y'all. Before I go, Lorianne said, I did enjoy the informations. Highly appreciated. I learned a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here, Lorianne and Angel and Deanna and everybody else that was on watching.